And we are live talking about Mission Impossible. We got a new installment last week, the final reckoning. How are you, Matt?
I'm fine. Happy to be here to talk about this franchise. I like very much this franchise. It's one of the best action franchise of the past decade. So yeah, and yeah, happy to be here to talk with you about cinema. And you, how you doing, Multi?
I am doing great, and I feel you 100%. I did like that franchise a lot. And that kick off our discussion, we will start by sharing our thoughts. We basically both agree it's a good action franchise. Now, I will start by asking you what would be your least favorite movie in the franchise and why?
You know, is a easy question to answer for a fan of the franchise. And no, normally, for if you ask everybody love the franchise, you won't say the second one, and it's normal to say that. It's the least good. I would say is that this movie has some good moment, and the movie is always great in the role. And the director John Woo is not a bad director, but this movie is has some big issue in the narration and with these bad guys. But in the end, you know, it's not a bad movie, just bad for the franchise. So for me, the two, and it's normally is the answer for the fan of the franchise. So it's not a surprise answer for that. And I think it's the same for you, Multi.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think it was a terrible movie. I remember this and being like, "Who in their right mind would like that thing?" And it's funny because when we reviewed that movie back then on the Red Bull podcast, we had someone else that left the show back then, but he actually liked that movie, and I was shocked because that was the only person I talked to that enjoyed it. And I was like, wow, okay, there's someone in the world that liked that movie. And it's proof that even like some bad movies, because there's a lot of subjective, you can actually still like the product. So yeah, the second one is it was a chore, and just because it exists, it left a really bad taste. I don't see myself rewatching the entire franchise, even if I liked watching it the first time. I'm like the second one terrible, and even the later installment, as much as I was entertained and I liked the experience, I just don't see myself rewatching most of the Mission Impossible movies, and that's a bit unfortunate because I feel like we got some really good movies. Speaking of good, my favorite Mission Impossible was the original. That's in my book a classic in the spy slash uh, James Bond esque adventures. The original was just so good. Yes, the ending with the tunnel and the helicopter, the chopper, it was weird, and we had massive plot armor, but that was a fun movie overall. So, what would be your favorite Mission Impossible?
Again, we take this thinking the same. The first one, the original, is the best for me too. For the same thing is it was unique back then, and the action was so amazing, and Tom Cruise was so great in this movie, and everything worked perfectly. You know, the director is Brian De Palma, so one of the best director of this time, and you can see that in the movie. The movie, well, the structure of the movie is so well done. It's not the bigger for the action, but the action is well done in the movie, and the narration too. You have no particularly not flaw in the movie, in this movie. Everything worked great. Maybe some flaw on some moment, like we talk about the plot armor, but it's okay because you know, it's the kind of movie you can accept that. So yeah, for me it's the original. I know for some fan, for some time, and back then the first one was the best, but today some other Mission Impossible fight for this position. And understand now why for certain movie like we talk about it later, but Mission Impossible Fallout for some people is the best of the franchise so far, and I understand why. It's the second for me, but yeah, the first one is so unique for what it is. So yeah, it's the first in the for me.
That's nice. We agree on something. And I will also say this. I think most of the Mission Impossible, just before we dive deep into Final Reckoning, I think most of the franchise is watchable, enjoyable, and actually very good. I think the weakest installment are really the second one. I'd say the third one is not that far, and that's the segue. I think Final Reckoning is also one of the worst in the franchise. So that's the segue. What did you think of Final Reckoning?
Good question. I'm a little conflict about this movie. I like the movie. I don't think it's the one of the best of the franchise. I don't think it's the bad either. But when you see for the all franchise, you can see this movie is not on the top. It's not. It's great. It's a good movie. But this movie has so many problems. The first one and the first start. This movie is supposed to be the part two of the last movie, but he changed the title, but because the part one the not work in the theater, so he rebrand the movie, and the studio say that movie is kind of the end for the Mission Impossible franchise for Tom Cruise, but Tom Cruise not say that in the interview in the past few days. So it's supposed to be the ending, but not official as, but it is some not clear about that. But for the movie himself, I think yeah, this thing is in the end, this movie is more homage of the franchise than just a new chapter in the franchise. You have two reference on the first and two and three movie, and you have one character from the first movie come back for this movie to connection the story, and you have so many connections, so many twists. And this one, and you have Tom Cruise is more explore more this psychology aspect and more drama aspect. You have action in this movie, but less than usual. You have two big scenes, and these two scenes are phenomenal. But Mission Impossible gave us so much action in the past, and this movie is it give us good thing, but not enough. I think about that, particularly because the movie is 3 hour long, so we have time to use that to do many things. But we choose to be a mage of the franchise, to develop the character, to develop the psychology side, and the other thing around the story. And I understand why you're doing that. You need to create a conclusion of the franchise, but I think you can do little better with that, with less. Because for me, maybe I feel the movie a little too long. You can take like 20 minutes. 20 minutes 20 minutes of that, and you will be better for the immersion and the storytelling. Like many characters have not development, but the movie is 3 hours long. Like the character of Paris, played by Pomme can with this again, Pomme Clémentif, French actress. She was in the Guardian of Galaxy. She was interesting in the other the part one. But in this movie, she had not development. The only thing is interesting with this character, she speak only in French, and Tom Cruise speaks French with her, and Simon Pegg speak French with her. I like this that, but other than that, the movie do nothing with this character. Is little I'm little sad for that because I like the actress. For me, it's a little bad thing about movie, but the movie has some big quality. Like I say, is a big homage, big continuity of the franchise. And Tom Cruise is always great in this role. He's again great. He's more profound in development in this movie. You can feel he start to be old for that because the character the actor is 63 old. so it's not the same back then. He commented in the action sequence. You have the scene with the plane in the end, and he is on the plane. This is a real action with cast with real stunt he has doing himself. That is very impressive.
Practical.
By practical, it's very impressive to see that. So yeah, I like to see that. But for me, the big problem I have with this one, and I have for the part one, is the bad guys. The main bad guys is the entity is a
Entity.
entity is a IA want
AI.
AI want to control the world, and you have some guy named Gabriel work for him in the first movie, and now he's working for himself. He's a second bad guy, but yeah, not the charisma of other bad guys in the franchise. Because one of the things with this franchise is that each movie has a great bad guy played with a phenomenal actor behind him. But this time is not the case. It's kind of sad for it's a kind of meltdown for that. The quality this movie lost and the past one lost too, because the movie want to focus on the theme of the character of Tom Cruise. So I understand that. And the new character, like I love this actress, Ellie Atwell. For me, she's the best actress from the MCU. She played Peggy Carter in the MCU, and she was introduced in the part one, and now she is in the part two, and she played this thief named Grace, and I like this character. I like this duo with Tom Cruise. This is a good duo. I missed the duo with Rebecca Ferguson. She was in the other movie before, but the character was killed, so she's not back. But the new duo worked pretty great for me, and yeah, and the last bad thing I have about this movie, the movie I introduced new character played by famous actor in the moment, like Nick Offerman. He played a general in the army. Where Anna Waddingham, she played an admiral navy. She is the main actress in the Ted Lasso series, one of the best. Is the best Apple TV show. And you have other actor famous in the moment play a little role in this movie. Is a waste of talent for that. Maybe Anna Waddingham is the most interesting new character in this movie. She played, like I said, this admiral for Navy. She helped Tom Cruise with this mission. But yeah, the new character is not interesting to follow. But in the end, this is the conclusion. You don't need new big character to do that. The old character worked really, really great. Simon Pegg, Vinny Ram, Tom Cruise. Yeah, some other character from other movie come back for the connection. It's a good touch for me. But yeah, it's not the conclusion I was hoped to see. But it's not
You were
uh,
hoping for better, I guess.
yeah, kind of. It's difficult to have a good conclusion for a big franchise. Is a problem with that in the movie and the TV show. So time is many series, many movie have difficulty to have a great conclusion because how to conclude something big, you know. And this time is okay. I like the conclusion, but not the conclusion I hope to see. But I accept that because it's the way it is, and I'm happy the franchise is ending that way, and Tom Cruise can go other thing. But I think that Tom Cruise don't want to leave this character. Maybe you have a in the future we have a new statement of of Mission Impossible, where maybe Tom Cruise will be the mentor of a new agent to do in Mission Impossible. I think this will be a good idea for the future because, like I said, the actor is old now. He's 63. He can do that again, but I think it's time to move on to other thing. And this movie is the conclusion you need for this saga. This saga is 27 years old, so it's time to put an end on that. And I feel it's okay for me that this for this conclusion. So yeah, in the end, yeah, I was entertainment, and I like so many things in the movie, and you have so great actor in it as usual. Just the bad guys, storytelling, and the all the movie is so long. Like I said, the movie need to be a little shorter, But yeah, other than that, for me it was okay. Not a bad movie. The acceptable conclusion.
I feel you. I feel you, and I will second one of the ideas you had. I feel like if they ever end up doing a ninth movie, what could be interesting is you said it. Give Edan more of a mentor role. Make him in charge of the Mission Impossible program or some stuff, and then he's the boss, and there's a new recruit, and then they do a spin off or something. That could be actually fun, but um, again, I think it was a very good ending for the saga. It worked well, but as a movie, I I won't say it's bad. It's clearly better than the second one, but it wasn't on par with a lot of the installments in the franchise. I think it was a massive letdown for me. It's
Massive.
sad. It's sad. It's a massive letdown for me. I really wanted that movie to be really solid. And I remember liking a lot Dead Reckoning. That was a very fun movie. But that one was in the middle of the franchise in my books. And Final Reckoning is more like near the bottom. It's not really the bottom, because like nothing beats the second one, but like it's how I feel with Final Reckoning. It was a disappointment, and I liked the Easter eggs. I liked how they paid homage, as you said, to past movies. I feel like everything connects very well. So, on a story standpoint, it's what you want, but as a movie, again, it didn't work well. So, my first issue, just like you, the pacing. The pacing was bad. I would have caught like 20 to 30 minutes of that movie. And that was the same with Dead Reckoning. I feel like these two movies could have been one movie, one massive movie of maybe like 3 hours or 3 hours and a half. Like you get the first act with the girl dying and the introduction to the entity and Gabriel as a villain, and then the second act would be most of the drama we got in this movie mixed up with some of the things we had in Dead Reckoning with the French girl, and then the third act would be like everything blowing up and full on action, like a third act of action and closure, and that could have been a great one movie. You fuse together both parts. I think it was a massive mistake to make two parts, and these two parts are like, if you put them together, they're like 5 hour and a half, 6 hours. It wasn't warranted. They made it bigger than it should be, and it's sad because I feel like there's so many things I liked in both movies, but it just didn't work well. It doesn't stand out. It doesn't stand up to other installment in the franchise. Um, Now, my second issue and my third issue are like back to back because there are two instances it happened. In two instances, the dialogue felt too cartoonish, cheesy, bad. To be clear, I refer to both instances when characters say to Ethan, "He will meet a reckoning." I was like, I get it, that's the title, but it's so cheesy. It's so bad. It's like, how am I supposed to take that movie seriously with that kind of remarks, that kind of dialogue? It's like, no, no, who wrote this crap? Really? It's like, it's not my Mission Impossible. I, again, I will repeat myself or say it for the first time in the stream, but it's been 2 years. I didn't see the other Mission Impossible, so I don't remember that franchise being that cheesy. And if it was the case, then the franchise overall got slightly worse. But the dialogue, I'm sorry, but no, no, it's insulting. It was bad.
In past, you have some dialogue like that in the other movie, like the in the first three movie particularly. But yeah, all movie in the franchise has some moment like that. Not bigger, but sometimes you have that. So it's not new, but I understand why you're so focused on that problem.
And now my fourth issue: every villains and supporting villains were weak and forgettable. And I feel like when I look back and I remember the Mission Impossible franchise as someone that has seen it um, 2 years ago. I think Fallout had a great villain, and Henry Cavill. I can't remember if he was the main villain or just a supporting villain, but he had charisma,
He's the
and
main villain. He's the main villain.
yeah, it was cool. I liked him a lot. And even Rogue Nation with the Syndicate, they were very fun. And the original had a really nice villain. And I'd say the weakest villain would be like the second one, the third one, and well, the third one adds something. So you know what? It's a bit unfair to say that the third Mission Impossible had a bad villain. I think the third Mission Impossible had other issues, and it was probably not the villain. But here in
The
this,
villain was great. He won for me. The villain for the three, one of the best, but he's not in the best movie. That's the
yeah,
problem.
yeah, I think really the final reckoning, and even Dead Reckoning, I found Gabriel in Dead Reckoning far better than whatever we got in Final Reckoning. This I remember being like, you know what, it's kind of cool. I didn't care that much about the entity or whatever, but like I feel like in this movie it's a massive letdown. It's like, isn't the Gabriel we had in Dead Reckoning? It was cooler. I mean, he deleted someone. He deleted the love interest Ethan had, and it was sad, and I felt something. So again, I feel like this installment didn't give Gabriel justice. He felt like a second thought. They were like they added him just because they were like, oh, it was there in the previous one, so let's bring him back. That's
I,
how it
I
felt.
I feel when the movie changed this purpose because, like I said before, the part one not work in the theater. So when the production for the part two start, he changed some element, and one element he changed the importance of the character of Gabriel and his purpose. And when you see that in the movie, he's a bad guy, but he has not big purpose. He just try to take the control of the bigger bad guys, and he's not a bigger threat than the other movie. And the flashback with Ethan Hunt love romance was cut in this movie. You have not a conclusion about that. It's just an element in the past movie to create emotion, like you say, but you have no development in that. And I feel this that when so many. It's the part of the change for this movie when you decide to name this movie the
Final
finale.
Reckoning.
Yeah. So this one character has changed for the purpose of that.
I think it's a letdown. Again, I thought it was kind of good in Dead Reckoning. It wasn't the best. Again, I think the Syndicate and Henry Cavill in Fallout were far better. But yeah, so my next issue would be number 5. Characters can aim inside the house owned by the guy with glasses. That was annoying. Now, number 6, swimming deep underwater without equipment, yet not having permanent injuries as a result, wasn't believable. I get it. It was like incapacitated for like hours apparently, and he was safe. But even there, I was like, man, his eardrum would have blown up. He was very far underwater. It was unbelievable, and it's the kind of stuff that Mission Impossible franchise does a lot. Like unbelievable thing, it's Mission Impossible. That's the idea, but I don't like it.
You look back in the franchise, Ethan Hunt will be dead before that. He has so many
Yeah,
times in the franchise he's supposed to be dead, but he's not dead. So it's not a surprise for me. He survived to that. The scene is is maybe little too much for what it is. But I like the way is the scene is built. You go to in the cold water in the submarine, and you have little time to do this mission, and tension is bigger and bigger, and you need to put out this suit to go back, and you can see maybe he will die, maybe not. Maybe he can die because he's the main character. So in the end, he's safe. But you have the tension worked for me. Um, I know this is the scene is a little absurd, but the tension worked for me and that.
I enjoyed the submarine sequence. Most of the underwater stuff worked for me, but when it stopped working is when he left the sub and like he he was forced into like removing the equipment, and I was like, okay, that moment broke the immersion for me. I liked the submarine sequence. That was a fun Mission Impossible to do, and even prior, the action in that movie, we don't get a lot of action, but it's effective action. It's good
Yeah,
action. It's action I liked.
yeah,
So I sound overly negative, but that's usually how I review stuff. I start with the negative, and then I focus on really what works. Now my final issue with Final Reckoning. Unbelievable plane sequence when Ethan was hanging on Gabriel's plane. He was hanging on it for way too long. It broke my immersion. I was like, man, I feel like it's the helicopter in the tunnel over again, but worst. It's like how long you just hangs there and like wow wow wow.
I understand your point, but again, in the past, doing that in the helicopter, in the plane, in the 5 or 6 movie,
Chopper.
no, you have Chopper in the Fallout, but
Yeah,
back then, you have another scene where he grab after when the plane go fly, he grab about them, and you have he claim on the tower in Dubai. So man,
that tower. I will be honest. That tower, I liked it. That was cool. And I'm someone that has vertigo, so that tower, man, I forgive the tower. Um, but again, that plane sequence, it was cool, but it wasn't believable. It felt like a parody or something. Now these were my issues with Final Reckoning. Again, I sound like someone that hated the thing. I liked it. I think overall it's a fun movie. It's a fun experience. There's action in it, and I want action. When I watch Mission Impossible, I can forgive bad villain when there's action. So I kind of forgave that movie for having some of the weakest villain in the franchise because the action was worth my time. I think the plane sequence, even if it wasn't believable, it was entertaining. It was cool, practical effect. That's the kind of stuff I want. Um, what else? The emotional death of Luther. For once, Aidan cannot save someone. He tried really hard. He wanted to swap places, but he could not. And it was very sad. It was cool at the same time. It was like, oh, that's what made Gabriel so good in Dead Reckoning. And now Gabriel is back and he took out Luther, a guy that's a staple in the franchise. Luther was there since the first one. So when Gabriel took him out, I'm like, oh, I'm in for a great movie. And then like it's really like the rest of the movie that was somewhat of a letdown for Gabriel. But anyhow, um the action. Again, the action in Mission Impossible is what you are in for. And I
yeah,
think the acting was really good. And I see in my notes more cool action and great music. Now, I will admit, even if the villains and supporting villains were weak, I will give credit where credit is due. There was nice growth from the supporting villain when he shook in with Ethan, the guy from the military that was like, I don't like you. And he ended up being like, you know what? I will shake your hand because you cannot save the world. And that was nice growth. I feel like that supporting villain overall wasn't the best, but that moment there made me forget how it was forgettable. I was like, you know what? That's a cool moment. That's a cool scene where he saved the world and is rewarded with someone's respect. And I think again, it was a very good closure, a very good ending for the Mission Impossible franchise. So I can forgive the missteps. Um, and I don't have a lot more to say. It's just an experience I enjoyed. No regrets. And even if we spoiled the entire thing, and I forgot to mention the spoiler warning, but now we are almost 1 week since the release, so
yeah.
I think we are forgiven for that. But uh, go see it if you have not seen it. If you like the franchise, you will like that one. And again, Final Reckoning was a fun experience. So, any closing thoughts, Matt? I don't have a lot more to say there.
I think I say all I want to say about this movie. I don't want to repeat myself, but like you say, is It's a good ending. It's not the ending we expect to, but in the end you accept that. And like I said before, I hope maybe to see a new Mission Impossible, but not with Tom Cruise and the main character, but like more in the mentor. But I accept that this is the end of the franchise. It's okay for that too. The franchise is 27-year old, so maybe it's
More
time.
than that. It was 95, so it's almost 30 years old. 96, sorry.
Yeah,
96. So it's almost 30 years old. It's like 29 years old.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
The franchise is old. Is old. It need to end at some point. The end is, and we have the end now, and you need to stop before doing bad things.
Yeah, I agree.
So
And
yeah.
if they leave it there, I will be glad because I feel like we got good closure. Now I'm someone that likes three numbers. I'm like, maybe do a ninth one, but do it right and make it a send off, a final movie without being a final reckoning because we already got that now. But like, make Ethan the boss of that Mission Impossible mission. He earned it at that point, and make him like mentor someone, train someone, and that could be fun. Now, what would be your grade out of 10 for the final reckoning?
We'll give this one. It is difficult to give a good ranking for this movie, a fair ranking for this movie, but I will say like a 7.8 of 10 for this movie. Like I say, it's a good movie. It's not the best of the franchise, but yeah, you see this movie you can see every day. It's a good old action movie with real action and real character and real scenery. So yeah, 7.8 of 10 for this movie. Maybe for some element I would give 8, but I think the movie fell out little bit because so many people I talk about like movie maybe a little too long for this good. The movie will little shorter. I will give 8 of 10 for this movie easy. But yeah, 7.8 of 10. And you, Multi.
Thank you for sharing. Now, my grade would be a 7 out of 10. And again, I think it's average. If you compare to the rest of the franchise itself, it was somewhat of a letdown. But again, 7 out of 10 for me, it's average. It's not bad. It's not good. It's average. With that being said, that's the segue to the final segment of this stream, the ranking of the movies. Disclaimer: it's been 2 years. I did happen to see the other seven Mission Impossible, so some of them might be swapped around, but I think most of it does hold up, and it's telling on what I remember mostly. So I will let you start on that. What would be your ranking for the Mission Impossible movies?
So yeah, some of these movies, many of the movies take some time and not see them. Like the first two movie, maybe like 10 years I don't see this or movie. So it's difficult to me to do a, a real ranking. But I try my best with what my memory recall and with what I know about the franchise. So for me, the less good, like we talk about, is the second one. You have some good idea in it. The actor John Woo, he know how to do action, but the movie has so problem with the narration and with the bad guys. Is a little chaos by moment in the movie. So is the least good. After that, I will say the two last movie, the Dead Reckoning, Final Reckoning, are pretty close, and the bad one. I will say this the wait, the Dead Reckoning. No, the Final Reckoning is no the Dead Reckoning is the second the seven, and the Final Reckoning is the sixth. And after that, for the safe position, the five position is the third one. The third one that for me has one of the best bad guys in the franchise, but the movie is a mess for so many elements. The movie is directed by Gigi Abrams, and he had done the script for the movie, and he used all this trope he used for all this movie and project, the mystery box and the many twists, the so many twists in the movie is so chaos in this franchise, but is in the end is a good movie. The third one is a good movie. It's just so messed up for some element, and like I say, one of the best villain in the franchise is Air. It's just sad the movie not that other thing to offer about that. After that, for me is in the fourth position is the 5-1 Rogue Nation. Is for me is the prolongation of the Ghost Protocol. Ghost Protocol is the third one in my classment because Ghost Protocol for me is the renaissance of the franchise. After the three first movie, the franchise was on the ice, and like 6 year, 5 year after that, he decided to do a new Mission Impossible is Ghost Protocol, and you rebuild the concept of the franchise, rebuild the character and all the franchise work. And for me, Ghost Protocol one of the best of the franchise, and the Rogue Nation is the same is the prolongation. So you have nothing being new in the Rogue Nation. Is great movie, but it's just a continuation of the past one. And after that, the second best for me is Fallout. For many people, the Fallout is the best. I understand why. Is the peak of the franchise for action, for narration, for development, for emotion character of Ethan Hunt, the other character in the franchise. And Henry Cavill is so a great villain in this movie. This fight scene with Tom Cruise are so intense, and so well done.
And
There's
even the girl, I remember the girl, one of the girls having a really cool fight in that one. That was one of my favorite fights. She was using stuff around, and that was believable. She was
yeah,
fun shit around.
Yeah, and the Origination, Fallout, and Dead Reckoning, you have the addition of Rebecca Ferguson, a great actress, and she is so perfect for action genre, and she worked so well in all this movie. It's sad that the character was dead before the final. I love this character very much, but yeah, I agree with you. The female character has some good scene in the last movie, particularly in Fallout and Dead Reckoning. Before that, it was Ethan Hunt had the best action scene, but he tried to offer a new thing when the new opus come. And the best one is the first one because the original is a classic one. Is the one who create the franchise. Yeah, so good thing in it, good action. Yeah, no flaws so far in the movie. The director is Brian De Palma, one of the best director of this time. So we see that in the movie. He know how to build a story, how to show action. So this movie is great. So yeah, and I don't mention that, but the four last one movie are done by the same director, is Christopher McQuarrie. Is unique. Is unique for because back then each movie has a new director: Ben De Palma, John Woo, J.J. Abrams, Brad Bird. But after that, he decided to use the same director to create a continuity in between movie, because back then the movie had not a good continuity. Just Ethan Hunt come back again and again. But when the Gospel Protocol come with Brad Bird, he decided to start to create continuity. That's why I talk about Renaissance. For me, Gospel Protocol is one of the best because he created the new generation of Mission Impossible movie. For some time, it was the second one for me. But when Fallout was released, Fallout take the place. But I hesitate sometimes on between Fallout and Ghost Protocol. But yeah, for now is my ranking. But I do this ranking a few minutes before the show, so it's not 100% my ranking, I would say, for the franchise. But I think it's pretty much good answer for that.
Thank you very much for sharing. So when it comes to my ranking, we have similar stuff. It's not all the same, of course, but like my least favorite in last place. We got the second one. I want to forget I've seen that thing. Um, again, I will repeat myself. Someone in our circle, you didn't meet the person that was Marvel DC section wizard. He liked that movie a lot, and I was like, oh, cool, someone liked it. We won't sound like an echo chamber of hater, but I hated that thing, and that's funny because Cole and I we were roasting him, and for once I wasn't the one that was roasted for liking something bad. So that's a good memory of the show. But again, the second one, I I want to watch that memory. I it's a shame it doesn't exist. If I ever do another marathon, I will skip it.
Okay.
And now in seventh place, I got the Final Reckoning. Um, Again, I think it's a good conclusion, but when compared to the rest of the franchise, it feels like you let down. It feels like so many others were so much better. Now, in sixth place, we got the third Mission Impossible. The villain was actually kind of good, but you did explain well what I also thought of it. The story wasn't that great, and the villain was kind of wasted. And maybe the actor was really cool, but it was given like not that great material, and the surrounding parts were not as solid. So that's why the third one is in sixth place for me. Now, this is a very hot take. This is a hot take MTT talk there. But in fifth place, we got Fallout. I remember liking Henry Cavill, so it wasn't the issue. I thought the issues were more like how believable that one was. And I had other issues. I remember on stream I had many issues, but again, I thought that was a good movie, but it didn't feel as solid as other movies in the franchise. Um, so I like Henry Cavill; it was great, but I feel like that movie was really in the middle. Now, speaking of the middle, in fourth place, we got Dead Reckoning Part One. I felt like Gabriel in that one movie was slightly above Henry Cavill, and I think the
Oh my
biggest
god.
reason I say that was because he deleted a love interest. I think that was why I was like, you know what, that villain had an impact. Um, and overall, the movie, I also think it was, if not on par with Fallout, it might be slightly above in my books than Fallout. In third place, Ghost Protocol. I like Ghost Protocol a lot, and it felt like a new trilogy of the Mission Impossible. They were like, you know what? The second one wasn't a success. The third one, 50-50. So let's try to give a new rebirth, a new breath of fresh air to the franchise. And this is what we got with Ghost Protocol. And I remember many years ago when it came out, I did happen to pirate it and see it in the ICs. And I was maybe too young. I found that one not that great. But on the marathon I did 2 years ago, I liked it so much. So I don't know what happened. It's like
Okay.
I'm older. So I guess that's what happened. I'm older. I've seen more movies, and I get to understand better the art. So Ghost Protocol on my marathon I did 2 years ago. I liked that movie a lot. It was one of the best. That's why it is in third place for me. In second place, we got Rogue Nation with the crime syndicate, the Rogue Syndicate. I like them a lot, and it was cool how they impersonate the higher up in the British Secret Service, or I can't remember exactly, but that was a cool follow up to Ghost Protocol, and it was a very fun movie, a very fun experience. Now, I will admit the villain were cool, but the villain was probably not on par with uh, Henry Cavill or Gabriel. I thought that was maybe the entire movie that was just slightly above. And just like you, I think the best Mission Impossible was the original. But again, I like the entire franchise. That was a fun trip. That was a fun experience. And I'm glad we got to see good ending. Now, again, if they do a night one, give Ethan a break. He needs to be a mentor. And yeah, any closing thoughts on the Mission Impossible franchise?
No much. I think I'll talk about a lot. I want to talk about the franchise. I'm a little shocked. Fallout is so down in your classement
Ranking.
ranking. Sorry, I speak franglais for the
Yeah,
moment.
yeah.
Sometimes my English slip and I switch French. In the same language, in the same language. So yeah, I feel you are so hard with the Fallout. For me, like Ghost Protocol is like a renaissance for the franchise. Is lift off the franchise at other level. But I don't debate with you. I accept
Yeah.
your ranking
But
about that.
again, that's funny because Fallout is like in the middle, but that's coming from someone that liked pretty much every Mission Impossible outside of the second one. The second one is terrible, but like the rest of the franchise, I liked it so much. So like maybe if I do another marathon, maybe I will swap Fallout around. And I feel like among all of the Mission Impossible, Fallout was probably the one I will most likely just take and watch without watching the others. I think that one as that kind of
I understand.
gem.
I will say last thing. If you want for you or other people listen or us, you want a unique experience about the franchise, and you are a gamer. Try Mission Impossible on Nintendo 64.
Oh,
I played this game when I was young.
same.
I never finished the game. It was so hard to do, but I remember play so many times in this game to try to succeed this movie, this game. And I recall the many scenes of the movie, and I was like, his Mission Impossible is too nice. I can take the face of the character and shoot people and steal. But the movie is so a mess for so many things. But it is interesting to see for a gamer and a fan of the franchise to see this game. I think it's a PlayStation 4 1 2 release. It's a unique way to distribute the franchise of Mission Impossible with this video game. It's such a piece of this time, and he tried to start the video game the franchise, but he felt so intense. But if you like the universe and you play video game, try that for at least one time. If you don't regret that, trust me.
Amazing. So that was the closing thoughts. So what do you have going on your end of the internet?
Nothing much. Like usual, I see stuff and I write about them, but in French. Not for your that's maybe if you don't want to learn French, maybe the good idea to read my thing. Other than that, I want to see the new Karate Kid on the cinema. I'm a big fan of the franchise. I see each movie, other than the last one with not the last one, but the last on the first tetralogy, where you follow a young girl become the Karate Kid. Not see this one. But other than that, I'm a big fan of the franchise. I see all the season of Cobra Kai. So I want to see the new one, particularly because we had Jackie Chan. And Jackie Chan is one of my favorite actor of all time. So I want to see the movie particularly for him, but for the franchise himself. So yeah, other than that, nothing much. I'm boring life. So yeah, new stuff coming.
This is a great segue. Next week, depending on when you are available, either Tuesday or Thursday, we are talking about Karate Kid, the new one, and the IP as well. So if you get the chance to watch the other two that are missing, the third one and the fourth one, go for it. I did, and I will be honest. The first two are the best, but the third one and the fourth one they do hold up. And I didn't see Cobra Kai. I will end up watching it eventually because I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I feel like I will miss out on something if I don't watch them. But um, I'm excited about that Karate Kid stream next week, and we will also do some prediction on July releases because July will be a big month for theater, cinemas, and overall cinephile and movie fans, movie
Yeah,
goers. We got Jurassic Park, we got
Jurassic World.
Superman, Yeah, Jurassic World. You're right. Jurassic World.
Jurassic Park is the old trilogy, and the new generation of the franchise is Jurassic World now.
And I will need to get caught up on that because I think I've seen only one or two of these movies, uh, and I was very young, so I need to catch up on that. And there's also
You have six movie to see.
and there's also Megan at the end of June,
Oh yeah.
and I heard good things about the original. I didn't see the original, so that's another thing I need to catch up on.
I will
But
say for the first Megan was a good horror movie for Blumhouse Studio. Blumhouse Studio done so many horror movie this day. All of them are not good. Some of, time to time you have one good movie, and back then
sometimes I like them.
and back then Megan was the example of a good horror movie for Blumhouse, not a big horror movie, but he worked for the concept he offered. And I'm not sure for the sequel. I see the trailer and. Not understand why the movie don't want to do that. I will see this movie because I'm curious, but I feel the new movie was not much horror, but more a sci-fi
Action,
movie,
action.
action sci-fi movie.
I like the idea because I feel like when you do a movie franchise, maybe explore new things. Hopefully, it will work. I cannot wait to see that. But again, I think this summer will be a big summer for movies. There's also 28 years at some point. I did see 28 Days and 28 Weeks. That's a very fun franchise. That's actually the only zombie franchise I like. So I'm excited about 28 Years. I think it's June. Not quite sure. Either it's June or July. I might be wrong. I need to
August,
double check.
I recall.
August.
Yeah, I
Okay,
recall.
wow, August. That's
Yeah.
the end. Oh, so that's a big summer. And next week, not only we review Karate Kid, but we will have a discussion about some prediction of how the summer map will look like. And with this, we are out. Thank you a lot. And this is the end of this
Ciao.
week.